Hello everyone. So Shadow just came out a little time ago and I am shooketh. Young did such a good job with the song. The MV is amazing and the lyrics are just, wow. To be honest, I cried. Anyways, I analyzed the MV as well as the lyrics and I'ma share my observations with you. I know some of the things were pretty obvious but other might not be that obvious. Hopefully, I managed to spot less obvious things so you all are not bored while I give a lecture. Okay, the first thing we see is 7 figures wearing all black standing in a short hallway and Yoongi at the end of it. There is shattered glass lying at his feet and he is also wearing all black. I think that the figures represent not his shadow but rather his demons, his inhibitions. The glass suddenly pieces itself back together and creates a wall in front of Yoongi. We then see him behind the glass wearing all white. This could be his persona. I wanna be a rap star. I wanna be the top. I wanna be a rock star. I want it all mine. I want to be rich. I want to be the king. I wanna go win. After he utters these words, we see drawings of Oral 8. This was BTS's first full-length album and was released on the 11th of September, 2013. I think this is pre-debut Yoongi speaking, when he had a lot of ambition and dreams to make it big. We then see Yoongi on a stage surrounded with the same figures in black with their cell phones out, recording him. These could either symbolize the lack of privacy he has as a price for his fame, but it could also symbolize his own demons always being there with him every step of the way and watching him, if that makes sense. Conversely, they could also represent society. According to Jung, failure to incorporate the shadow into conscious awareness led to projecting the shadow's quality on others. Next, we see Yoongi sitting on the ground and multiple shadows trapped beneath the ground trying to get out. This is when Yoongi says shadow at my feet. He tries to run away from it but the shadow follows. We then see the figures which symbolize the shadow locked in a room, trying to get out. This can be seen as Yoongi's desperate attempt to keep them hidden and not let them surface. Here, Yoongi says that his shadow is as dark as the light's intense. This shows the duality that exists within human beings. As bright as you are on the outside, the darker or more negative your shadow is. Yoongi's attempts to conceal his shadow are fruitless as they escape the locked room. The room could symbolize Yoongi's unconscious mind and the shadows escaping that room means that they have come to the outer, conscious world. According to Jung, the human being deals with the reality of the shadow in 4 different ways: denial, projection, integration and/or transmutation. Here we see Yoongi dealing with the reality of his shadow by denying it as he attempts to conceal it. Previously, we also saw him projecting his shadow qualities onto others. Yoongi then raps this: my growing shadow swallows me and becomes a monster. At first, when people encounter their shadow, they may be horrified depending on the qualities of their persona since the shadow is all the things the persona is not. If your persona has mostly positive qualities, your shadow will be dark and negative. We see his shadows reaching from behind him and trying to get a hold of him. When they grabbed him, Yoongi says, I rise, I hate it. Now, as a person becomes more famous, they obviously get more attention from the public so they try to make themselves seem as perfect as possible. It's human nature. Therefore, their persona keeps becoming more positive while their shadow, darker. The same thing seems to be happening to Yoongi here. As he gets more famous and rises up, he tries to maintain a better persona, which inevitably makes his shadow darker. The more light you have, the darker you are. Kind of scary if you ask me. Then, suddenly, the shadows seem to pull him down with them and he's back on the stage and raps. The moment I'm flying as high as I wished, my shadow grows in that blasting stark light. So yeah, as he gets more famous, his shadow becomes darker and harder to control. Then he says, please don't let me shine. This is completely opposite to what he said in the beginning, when he wanted to be on top. We see how much encountering his shadow has impacted Yoongi. He is now afraid. He seems to be desperate to reject his shadow, to believe that something so monstrous isn't a part of him. We also see a mic shattering glass. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but in dreams, glass breaking could be a reflection of your waking life need to release some deeply suppressed emotions and desires. Since you are not doing that in your real life, you try to channel the frustration by breaking glass in your dream. However, instead of Yoongi breaking glass, we see the mic shattering the glass. What could this mean? I think it, again, reiterates the fact that as his shadow becomes decreasingly embodied by his persona, the darker and denser it becomes. His shadow, which could be seen as his deeply repressed emotions and characteristics, is trying to break free, and this is scaring him. The ground under Yoongi, where the shadows previously were, also breaks. This could signify the persona finally breaking and the shadow coming to light. Again, he is on the stage, rapping about his pre-debut dreams of wanting to be on the top, and again we see the Oral 8-2 drawings. And then, we see Yoongi watching himself on stage. This Yoongi could be the shadow, not his demons but his shadow, because he says, rather aggressively, yeah, I'm you, you are me, now do you know, yeah, you are me, I'm you, now you do know we are one body, sometimes we will clash, you can never break me off, this you must know, yeah, yeah, can't break me off. Whatever you do, yeah, you'll be at ease if you admit it too. This is his shadow addressing him. According to Jung, in order for the process of individuation to occur, it is essential for one to become conscious of their shadow, since this is the process of achieving self-actualization through integrating the conscious and the unconscious. We know that the persona is the conscious part of an individual and the shadow is the unconscious part. After overcoming the persona and the integration of the shadow and the anima-animus archetypes into one's character, one then is given access, Jung believed, to enter into the deepest and highest reaches of the psyche, the archetype of wholeness, which Jung named the self, the most significant of all the archetypes. It is the self that brings forth what Jung called the process of individuation, whereby one consciously and gradually integrates the unconscious aspects, the parts of ourselves that we have refused to confront, of one's personality, into the whole. Jung believed that it is the end purpose of human life to experience this coming together of the whole, to fully integrate and make conscious everything about ourselves that was hidden in the shadow. This end is the fullest expression of one's character, and allows one to hold firm their individuality against the collective mass unconscious. We see Yoongi end with "we are you, you are me," while his shadow looks up at his persona. He has finally acknowledged his shadow and is one step closer to completing the process of individuation. That is my complete analysis of the MV. Seriously guys, this has got to be one of my favorites. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like as well as comment your theories. It's 12 AM right now, and by the time I upload this, it's probably gonna be about 4 AM, so yay.